Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's reshaping how enterprises actually work. Agentic AI workflows and orchestration heading into 2026. Sam, thanks for joining me.
Great to be here, Alex. And honestly, this is a topic that's moved from nice to have to we need to act now for most organizations. The gap between what enterprises are currently doing and where they need to be is widening fast.
So let's set the stage. When we talk about agentic AI workflows, we're not talking about your typical chatbot anymore, right? What's fundamentally different here?
Exactly. Traditional conversational AI is reactive. You ask it something, it responds. An agentic system is proactive. It perceives what's happening in your environment, makes a plan spanning multiple steps, executes those steps independently, and adjusts based on outcomes. It's autonomous in a way that chatbots simply aren't. Think of it as the difference between a single task and an entire workflow.
And the numbers backing this shift are pretty staggering. I've seen reports that 35% of enterprise leaders now plan to deploy autonomous agents by 2026, up from just 8% in 2023. That's explosive growth in just 3 years.
It is, and the ROI data explains why. Organizations using multi-agent orchestration are seeing 40 to 60% reductions in manual workflow time. That's not marginal improvement, that's transformative. We're talking 25 to 35% cost savings in back-office operations alone. When those numbers are real and validated, adoption accelerates.
Those savings make sense when you think about what agents can actually handle. Invoice processing, customer support triage, knowledge synthesis, compliance monitoring, all the stuff that eats up hours of knowledge worker time. What's the practical business case you see most often?
The most compelling cases usually involve skill shortages. Enterprises can't hire enough people for routine tasks, and those tasks are expensive and error-prone when human-dependent. An orchestrated agentic system handles the volume, maintains consistency, and frees your best people to do strategic work that actually adds competitive advantage. That's the real win.
Now, building these systems isn't just about dropping a large language model into production. There's a stack, a real engineering stack, that has to be in place. Tell us about the core technologies.
Right. The modern production stack has 3 critical layers. First, retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. LLMs have a knowledge cutoff, and they hallucinate when they don't have context. RAG connects your agent to your actual data, documents, databases, APIs, real-time streams. When the agent answers a question, it's pulling from your proprietary information, not making things up. Stanford's AI Index showed a 67% year-over-year increase in RAG adoption, and organizations reported 80 to 90% reductions in hallucination rates.
That's critical, especially in regulated industries where you need to cite sources and explain decisions. I'd imagine finance, healthcare, legal. They demand that level of transparency.
Absolutely. In those sectors, hallucinations aren't just embarrassing, they're liabilities. RAG is non-negotiable. The second layer is the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. It's an open standard that's becoming industry-wide. MCP defines how agents discover and connect to external tools, APIs, databases, specialized services. Instead of hard-coding integrations one by one, you get plug-and-play connectivity that dramatically speeds up deployment and reduces technical debt.
So RAG grounds the agent in accurate data, and MCP is the plumbing that connects it to all the tools it needs to actually execute. What's the third piece?
Multi-agent orchestration. A single agent is useful, but enterprise workflows are complex and cross-functional. You need specialized agents, one for finance, one for HR, one for customer support, that coordinate with each other and with humans. Orchestration is the intelligence layer that manages that coordination, routes tasks appropriately, and ensures nothing falls through the cracks.
It sounds elegant in theory. How messy does it get in practice when you're actually trying to deploy this across an organization?
Very messy if you don't build for it from the start. That's why evaluation and monitoring are equally critical. You need to track agent performance, latency, accuracy, cost, in production continuously. You need to know when an agent is degrading or making errors. You need audit trails for compliance. If you bolt that on afterward, you're in trouble.
And that last point, compliance, feels particularly relevant in Europe with the EU AI Act. How does that shape the way enterprises are architecting these systems?
It's a huge factor. The EU AI Act creates requirements around transparency, explainability, human oversight, and data governance that can't be afterthoughts. You need modular design, clear data lineage, cost optimization baked in from day one. At EtherLink, we call that AI lead architecture, building with compliance and reliability in mind from the foundation, not as a patch.
So it's not that the EU AI Act makes deployment harder, it's that you have to think differently about architecture if you're in Europe.
Exactly. And honestly, that discipline is good for everyone. Organizations that build with transparency and accountability from the start tend to have more reliable, trustworthy systems anyway. It's not just regulatory compliance, it's good engineering practice.
Let's get practical. If a CIO or technical leader is listening to this and thinking, okay, we need to move in this direction, where does the journey actually start?
Start with your highest pain workflows. Where do you have repetitive, high-volume tasks that tie up your best people? Maybe it's invoice processing or support ticket triage or knowledge synthesis from unstructured documents. Pick something with clear ROI and measurable outcomes. Get your data infrastructure in place. You need clean, accessible data for RAG to work. Then pilot a single agent for that workflow, measure results, iterate, and scale.
So don't try to boil the ocean on day one.
Never. Enterprise AI transformation is a journey, not a switch flip. But the enterprises that are moving now, methodically building the right infrastructure and starting with high-impact use cases, those are the ones that'll have genuine competitive advantage in 2026.
This has been a really useful overview. Sam, any final thought for listeners trying to navigate this landscape?
Just this. Agentic AI is not optional anymore. The competitive pressure, the ROI, the talent shortage, they all point in the same direction. But don't mistake speed for clarity. Build thoughtfully, measure constantly, and keep humans in the loop where it matters. That's how you win.
Great advice. For more details on how to architect these systems, the technical stack and real-world implementation patterns, head over to etherlink.ai and find the full article on Agentic AI Workflows and Enterprise Orchestration. Thanks for listening to EtherLink AI Insights, and we'll see you next time.